So it is every week that we have this pleasant opportunity to speak. Lekovit Shabbos, a short thought on the Parsha. Today I will not speak on the Parsha. We all are still under this terrible impression of the tragedy of Lag BaOmer. Once again, I just want to briefly share with you. It is not so much my thoughts, maybe my feelings. And as I already said this week, Thursday night, when this tragedy unfolded, the first thought that came to my mind was, Vayhi b'yom hashmini, shmini lemeluim. What a wonderful day. Started off. Klal Yisrael comes together. Chanukah Samishkan. We've been waiting for this day hundreds of years. Hundreds of years of Golas Mitzrayim. Geulas Mitzrayim. Wandering in the desert. Asora Nesyonis Nesua V'Seinu HaKadosh Baruch Hu B'Midbar. And finally this wonderful event arrives. And everybody is dancing and singing. Aaron HaKohen, like a king. V'yiso Aaron es yodo. V'yavorech es oam. V'yered mi'asois ha'chatos v'oile v'shlomim. After being makrav korbanos. And then suddenly, tragedy strikes. V'yteitze ishme lefnei Hashem v'toichaloisam v'yamusu lefnei Hashem. How does Aaron react? How does he respond? He does not respond. Vayidoim Aharon. He is silent. Does he have anything to say? The Medrash says yes, but he prefers not to talk. What does he have to say? What's the kesher? The Gemara says, Lama omer Torah shetino iknimo lishmini shelo yiyu kulam smechim va'ove ve'imoi atzuvim. That is why the Torah says, wait till the 8th day. After Shemes Yemei Tuma, father and mother should be as happy as all the others. Aaron HaKohen has what to say. The entire Jewish world is happy. They all rejoice. And I have to mourn the death of my two Bonim Tzadikim. Is that fair? Do I deserve it? I'm the Kohen Gadol. I invested more in this day than anyone else. V'hakal yusmichim. And I will be in terrible sorrow and mourning. Why? Aaron has what to say, but he prefers to envelope himself in his silent mourning. Vayidoim Aaron. We don't have any questions. Many of us think we have what to say. Vayidoim Aaron. We have nothing to say. The classical example of Kabbalas Yisurim is Sefer Iyov, of all the Kisvei Kodesh. Let me briefly explain what the Sefer is all about. So at the beginning of Sefer Iyov, we learn about a hurricane, a terrible storm. And the house is destroyed, and it falls on Iyov's children, and they are killed instantly. And Iyov misatev be'evloi. He's sitting in mourning, and his friends come over. And a very lively discussion develops in the entire Sefer. And his friends were wise, philosophers, thinkers, and each of them comes up with different thoughts and different attitudes and different philosophies. What is this about? Why did this happen? And after a lengthy discussion, at the end of the Sefer, once again, a terrible storm. Me'eina psicha. And the Sefer ends in a similar way as it began. And the way it all began, with a storm. And out of this storm, HaKadosh Baruch Hu nigla le'Iyov, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu asks some profound questions. Eifo hoyiso biyazdi oretz. Where were you when I created the world? Were you around? Were you there? Hagedno im yodato bino alma denei hudbau o miara even pinata. Do you know anything about creation? Hanigru locho sharei moves v'sharei tzel moves tir'eh. Do you know anything about death? Do you understand what death is about? Eov is silent. What can he say? And that is the fundamental lesson of the Sefer of Eov. You and your friends got it all wrong. It's not about trying to understand. It's futile trying to understand. It is about accepting what we cannot understand. It is about accepting Ritzayin Hashem. It is about believing and accepting what we cannot understand and believing that HaKadosh Baruch Hu always loves us and we always love Him. That is what Sefer Yom is about, and that is V'yidoi Miron. 45 people, Korban Tzibur. Korban is Tzibur, were shared by the entire people. What struck me about this tragedy is it looks as if HaKadosh Baruch Hu came down and carefully picked 45, a group that represents every sector. Hasidische velvet hats, Litvische hats, kippot srugot. Americans, Argentina, Eretz Yisrael, Sfardim, Ashkenazim, elderly people, and most painful of all, Tinoike shel beis rabam shelo ta'amu ta'am chet. How tragic. But everybody was represented in those 45 Kiddushim. We have nothing to say, only Chizuk. Supporting the families, Ishasei Eu Yazeru, V'la'ochav Yoim HaChazak. Feeling their pain, davening, learning, and doing whatever we can to come closer to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shakadosh Baruch Yanachem Oisam B'Kiflayim, and we shall all be Zoicha to Nachamas, Tzion, V'Yerushalayim. Have a beautiful Shabbos.